Yes.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Tales of Telduria. We have finally hit that wonderful episode 10. Everyone, give a light clap.
Yay.
Yay!
Yay! Well, you know what that means. That means Didas. You get the detail what happened last session.
Oh, 1 second. Yes. So we got another mission from Layla. This time she was very pissed, and I spelled the name incorrectly here. So one of the shipments, one of the Thieves Guild shipments got stolen. It was like a dead drop, I think, that was planted somewhere, and it just wasn't there anymore.
Mhm.
So yeah, we were tasked to find out who stole that stuff and to bring whoever's responsible back alive to Layla. We then went to the area, found out it happened pretty recently. We followed some tracks, asked some farmers, gave them far too much money, and went towards the mountains because we found out that the cart went toward the mountains. Then Kate caught up to us. We found a hidden entrance, sneaked invisibly through the hideout until we found like another secret entrance, found the leader, killed the people with the leader, knocked him unconscious, took him with us. Found out that Layla was also there. He obliterated that guy, like turned him into mist.
Pew pew.
And went back to the hideout to grab some stuff. Gave Kate a ring. And then, a couple days later, we got called into a meeting room. And we got a new quest, a very big quest, to find 5 people who were hired by another party to find cultists in the Arquan Society, but went missing. Probably because of pirates, and their ship washed ashore in Dragonport, only with the captain surviving.
Yeah,
I
that sounds
think
about
that's
right.
it.
However, you also did have a side session. However,
Right.
the main reason why I have made all side sessions effectively privated to just the person that they're relevant to is because it is entirely up to them if there is any information that they would like to disclose.
I mean, I'm gonna say as a player that I have had a chat with Layla, but I don't think my character would talk about it with anyone, so I'm just gonna not say anything else. You gotta
Alrighty.
think about it.
In which case, it is time to begin the actual music. So, is everyone ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Alright, so as usual, on
Yep.
go. So, 3, 2, 1, go. To which I turn that off, and then we go to here. And then I need to pull up. Where is it? Yes, here it is. So, is there any last minute shopping that anyone would like to do before they set off on this particular quest? This would have to be like minor things.
Well, I need to make sure to see if I have enough money first.
Mm-hmm. So there are no minor things that anyone here wants to buy. You know, stuff like potions, grenades, poisons, sex toys.
No, I'm good. I would like to
I
get
have
a
no money.
poison for emergency.
You would like a poison for emergency. What type
Yes.
of poison? Poison.
I have looked at Sweet Dream, which you probably know better what it does than me.
Okay.
But I can post the link.
I'm aware. I mean, I have access to where all the poisons are. So poison, Sweet Dream is 900 for a singular dose.
Yeah. And I would buy 2 doses.
So you want to spend 1,800 gold to get two doses of it.
Indeed.
Okay. Does anyone want to buy anything else?
I don't have money.
How much would a healing potion be?
Depends on how strong you want the healing potion to be. So I have a chart. I have a chart in regards to healing potions. Healing potions start at a D4 and cap out at a D10. So D4 healing potions start at 10 gold. In order to bring it up one stage, you know, like D4 to D6 to D8, it is 5 gold per stage. You can also increase the amount of times that you roll. So instead of, rolling a 1d4, you can instead roll a 2d4. This caps out at 10. At 10. So it goes from 1d4 to 10d4 in that particular order. If you wanted to go up one stage in that direction, it's 10 gold. So for example, if you wanted to have a 2d6 healing potion, you start at 10 gold for a base d4, increase it by 5 to a d6, so it's 15, and then you increase it by 10 again to go to 25. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm. Okay, then I am thinking a total of 4 3d8s.
So you want a 3d8.
Which
So
would be
starts at 10, and then you add
40.
5 twice to go from d6 to d8. And then you want it to be a 3, so we add 10 gold twice. So each potion here would be 40 gold for a 3d8, to which you said you wanted to buy 4 of them?
Exactly, and that's a total of 160 gold.
Correct.
Actually make that 5, so I have a nice 200.
Sure. You can spend 200 and now have 5 3d8 potions.
Okay,
Hooray.
perfect.
Clap, clap, clap. Does anyone want to buy anything else, or should I just bully Leiku here for not having any money to not even be able to buy a saddle?
Well, I won't have.
There's 0.5
now.
pounds each, right?
What was that?
The weight of the potions is 0.5 pounds each, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Okay.
There were like bags of holding or something, right?
What?
Like a bag of holding?
You want a bag of holding?
Yes, depending on what it costs.
I see. I forget where bag of holding. I think it's clothing and containers. Nope. Let's see. Bag of holding Pathfinder. Oh, it's in Wondrous items. How much money you got?
I got 13,000.
You got 13,000. Well, you can pick out the bag of holding that you would personally like from this option, since you can afford all of it.
Ooh.
And Leiku, an exotic riding saddle, which is what you would need, is only 30 gold.
What?
Yeah.
Acquired.
Oh, I think I'll just get the...
Now I even have less money.
Yeah, I think I'll just get the cheapest one.
Alright, then get the cheapest one. Make sure that if you're going to put anything in the bag of holding, you need to make a separate section that has
Wait.
it.
How much is a headband of intelligence?
A singular headband of intelligence?
Yes.
Why do you want it?
For my cat.
Why do you want your cat to be racist right now?
That doesn't... Wait, are you telling me that the smarter the person is, the more racist they are?
The smarter the animal is, the more racist they become, yeah.
Anyway, how much is a headband of intelligence?
For just intelligence, it is, 4,000 for a +2, 16 for a +4, and 36 for a +6.
Wait, how much gold did we get last session?
I don't know.
10k.
I didn't fucking write that down. Hold on. There we go. How much is the headband of intelligence again?
For a +2, it's 4,000. For a +4, it's 16. And for a +6, it's 36. In order for a creature to talk, they need to have an intelligence of 8 or higher.
Yes. Hissy's intelligence is currently 2, so I would need one that's a +6.
Correct.
How much is the +6 again?
36,000.
Fuck! I don't have enough money for that right now. Hey, do you guys want to pitch in? I think it would be really funny if we had a cat that could talk.
Not right now.
Would be kind of fun, but not right now. I need that physical...
Actually,
protection.
I will, if possible, purchase a minor bag of holding for 1,000 gold.
You don't purchase it for 1,000 gold? Like, I gave the link. You didn't even read the link?
Yeah, it's price 1,000 gold for a minor bag of holding.
Oh, for that. The tiny, tiny one at the bottom.
Yes, the only one that even putting all of my equipment, well, most of my equipment in, is practically the only one I can actually carry right now.
Okay. Sure, you can get a minor bag of holding then.
Okay. That. Then.
Teehee. Anyone else want to buy anything?
Nope.
No, I'm good here.
You sure? You positive?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, in which case, we will continue on with the quest. Alright, so, you all gather your things, and hopefully you've done everything that you need to do with your money and whatnot. Obviously, you're all unsure on how this mission is going to pay out, or play out, but none of you are going to be surprised if violence eventually snakes its way into the question, right? You are effectively, potentially, dealing with pirates. Though, on the topic of surprises, the first surprise that you face throughout this entire mission isn't the fact that that Kate is going to be following you. Not that Kate's going to be following you. It's that Layla has been assigned to this mission as well. When asked why this is, all she explains is that this particular mission has a massive cash payout, and that the guild wants one of their best to keep an eye on things should luck start to sway against the individuals that are assigned to it. Besides, she would much rather have a hand in ensuring this particular mission's success than relying on the trust that some of her children have the capacity to accomplish on such a difficult task. However, it's not like she's going to be shoving herself directly up everyone's ass. She's simply going to be staying out of the way most of the time, only engaging if and when combat is necessary. Though outside of that, she'll mostly be doing things like trying to help gather the necessary supplies in order to continue the mission itself, if such a thing would be applicable. Speaking of which, under her guise and her direction, she does manage to acquire a personal ship for all of you to take to Dragonport, though she doesn't really assemble much of a crew. Outside of all of you, she only managed to scrounge up about 3 other no-names to be on the ship, because this would be good enough for a 2-day cruise to Dragonport as you go around the peninsula, but it most certainly would not be enough to take you any place any further than that. So you will have to figure out how to hire crew members at some point if you were tasked to go somewhere else to follow up on the information that you find here. Regardless, after the end of this 2-day trip, and you secure your location at the section of one of the docks there in Dragonport, Layla gathers all of you for a rather quick meeting. There are going to be 2 major areas for us to investigate, she explains. The first is obviously the Duchess of Dragonport. I don't know how much information she'll give, but this is her city, so she should be one with at least all of the base information. If she can give more information, I then suggest you do your best to follow up on that investigation. The second major area would be the Mercenary Guild as a whole. The Duchess likes to hire them for various odd jobs around town, and I doubt that the Mercenary Guild wouldn't have been hired to clean up the wreckage along the shores of Dragonport. Layla then takes a small pause to breathe deep, as well as to think a little bit further on what she wants to say before she finally continues. She points at the group just in general, saying, I will leave those 2 things up to all of you. In the meantime, I will attempt to nose out any potential confidants that can be used as crew members, just in case we need to sail out to the open seas. She doesn't give any of you any chance to respond before she simply turns and starts to walk away. Kate, on the other hand, announces herself with a giggle as she spins into view before doing a showman-like bow. And she says, I will be at your service. You know, with a big, toothy, Kate-like grin that she always has. For I am the prettiest girl in all the world.
Well, good to hear. Sure, so guys, what are we gonna do first? Guild or Duchess?
Kate would make a suggestion that the group would probably do a little bit better with it splitting up, considering only some of you are allowed in the Mercenary Guild to begin with.
True.
Precisely what I would have suggested.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say we'll let the mercenaries do the mercenarying, and Locke and I, we're gonna visit the Duchess, I guess.
Well, we only have 1 active member. I don't know if I can get into.
Oh right, you didn't get reinstated.
I thought you paid the money to get
expensive.
reinstated, didn't you?
I thought we both did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought
I-
you did.
Don't think so.
No, you handed in the paperwork to be reinstated, to which the person then told you it would take like 2 months, and you were like, So you are reinstated. It's been more than 2 months.
I guess you're right.
Oh, come on, Doras, get your paperwork together.
Aren't you German? Isn't that what you do?
I left the guild because of the paperwork, okay? Do you know how much they had me fill out when I killed a guy? Jesus Christ, it took years.
Sucks to you, don't kill a guy then.
Alright.
A lot of guys, and I haven't filled in any paperwork.
Well, that's because the Thieves Guild doesn't really do that.
Well, I just thought I wasn't filling in paperwork.
Good job, Locke. Alright, so we'll have Leiku and Daras go to the Mercenary Guild, and then we'll have Locke and Reich go to the Duchess. So obviously you two would be splitting up. Which one of you wants to take Kate?
Can we rock, paper, scissors for it? AKA roll a d20?
Well, rock, paper, scissors would be a 1d3, where 1 beats 2, 2 beats 3, and 3 beats 1.
Okay,
Okay,
well,
that sounds
we'll
cool,
use
actually.
a d20 system, so...
Yeah, but that's how we do it, so...
Okay, well... Shall we do that?
Yes, let's rock, paper, scissors. Does the
Alright,
winner
so-
or the loser take Kate?
So Leiku and Reich, go ahead and roll a 1d3.
Oh, okay then.
Since you have both apparently volunteered yourselves to be the leader. Alright, so 3 beats 1, so Reich, what do you want to do with Kate?
I'll bring her along, she's not a mercenary.
Alright, so that means
Fair.
you get Kate in order to deal with the Duchess. And then the big question becomes is which one of you two would like to go first? Like, I'll go back and forth as best as I can, so that it's not like silence for half of you. But who wants to try? Who wants to start their endeavor first?
You may go
let's
first, we
let-
have Kate, you may go first.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty,
Alright.
alrighty. So give me just a second because I have to switch things over to the Dragonport City. Hooray! Because I forgot to do that. Regardless, Leiku, Daras, you make your way over to the Mercenary Guild, and when you get to the guild, you find the exact same woman sitting at the desk. The bags under her eyes are just as large. Though, when she does look up in your general direction, she does remember you, or at least both of you, and she mumbles a little bit under her breath before pulling out a small stack of paperwork for both of you, to which when she does, she says, "You are about 2 weeks late for picking up your Mercenary Guild ID. You also weren't here for roll call when the ship crashed, so the both of you need to fill out paperwork explaining your reasons why. And if the reasons aren't accepted, then you have to pay a fine. You have to fill out the paperwork before you can get your cards."
Oh, sure, fine.
Alright
Let's do
then.
that.
Okay, miss. I guess that's what we'll do.
Alright, roll for linguistics.
Why do we need a linguistics to fucking fill out a form?
Because I know damn well that you're not going to go, "Well, we were a part of the Thieves Guild and we were out on a mission stealing some things,
Well, I
so
guess that's
obviously we
fair.
couldn't be here."
What's
But
linguistics?
we were
based
also
off
killing
of?
people.
If you don't have linguistics, it's based off of intelligence.
Okay.
Oh, great.
The reason why you're rolling linguistics is because this is the only purpose for linguistics, to forge documents.
Or as I like to call it, paper persuasion.
Exactly. Alright, so the both of you have succeeded in your paperwork. You hand them back over, and then you were both given your Mercenary Guild ID, to which the woman behind the desk starts to explain. She points to her left and she goes, "Over there is the generalized guild hall, where you can find the cafeteria and everything else. The board is right over there, and she points towards the door. Every now and then, papers will be stapled there. If the paper itself isn't colored with a red or blue marking of some kind, it means the job is still open. If there is a red marking, it means the people that are doing the job request assistance. And if there is a blue marking, it means that they do not need assistance. And then she points to her right, and she goes, okay, and over there is the training hall, to which you can go over there and spar with people of your current mercenary guild level in order to test your might. Are there any questions?
No, I guess not. And Leiku will just look over at Duras.
No, I don't think so, thank you.
Okay. And then she lays her head on the desk and tries to take a nap.
Okay.
Yeah,
Damn, this is sad.
a bit. Well, should we go look on the mission board if there's anything relevant?
Yeah, we might as well. Let's go do that. To the mission board we go!
Alrighty, go ahead. Both of you roll for Perception. Oh god. Good job, Duras.
Great.
Oh.
Alright, Nat 1, everyone drink.
That was yesterday! Not today!
Alright, so thankfully Leiku passed the roll, and Leiku, you start going through all of the papers on the board there, trying to scan to see if there's any information whatsoever. And you do see not one, but two open paperworks in relation to cleaning up the shores. Go ahead and roll another perception check. Just Leiku. Alright. So as you start to scan through both of these paperworks, you see the reason why there's two, and it's because one paperwork is for each of the beaches. So both of these paperworks do have the red marking, indicating that they are looking for help, and as you start reading through the paperwork, you see that the person that is in charge of this particular job is a person by the name of Ayaya Visk.
Do we know this name?
You can go ahead and roll knowledge history.
Okay.
Or knowledge nobility, or because knowledge local is for gathering information.
Yeah, I don't think that would count. It's okay. So for me, that'll be
There's
just a straight intelligence
probably
thing.
I mean, both of you can go ahead and do this roll. I think the two that would technically count in this particular instance would be history or nobility. I know nobility is more for noble stuff, but you can argue that it can be used for like guild affiliation. Though
Well, I don't have either.
then it'd be an int check for you. But the better question would be is whether or not you would actually be in the position to actually roll for it. Duras, I know you were a part of the mercenary guild. Was Leiku part of the mercenary guild before? I can't remember.
Yes, that's why we're
Okay.
here.
Alright, just making sure. And both of you actually passed, because the DC is a 10. And
Yeah.
the name is familiar to you because this particular person made a name for themselves in the mercenary guild for climbing the guild ranks rather quickly before eventually being banned from the guild for about a year for accidentally killing their sparring partner when they were doing one of the guild ladder tests. What a guild ladder test is that when you're going from one rank to the next, you spar against a person who is in the rank above you, and if you can best them in combat, you are allowed to go into that rank for the guild. And
I see.
this particular individual accidentally killed their sparring partner. So was demoted all the way back down to the lowest rank, was banned from the mercenary guild for a little over a year, and has since rejoined, and their climb has been much slower than before, because they have been giving them harsher tests.
Mm-hmm. I see. Okay.
Makes sense.
Well, we could start there.
Well, you have to find them. You know their names, you just don't know where they are.
Well, they're on the notice board, would it not? Okay, well.
No, it would just tell you who's in charge.
I guess we can ask the secretary woman. Turns over, she's still probably asleep.
She's trying to nap, yeah.
Oh, I feel bad.
Are you gonna go and ask her?
I mean, we should.
Yeah, we should. Let's go ask her.
Well,
God.
I'm waiting for you.
Yeah, you're the talking one. You do it.
Leiku will stand at the desk and goes, "Excuse me, miss. I'm very sorry to interrupt, but would you happen to know the location of Miss Ayaya?"
The woman slowly raises her head off the desk and looks in your general direction, and you can tell they're just exhausted, like they haven't slept in eons. And they go, "Huh?"
Miss Ayaya? She's in charge of one of the jobs posted on the guild board. We would like to go and assist, but we don't know where she is.
There's a couple of moments of silence as the woman behind the desk, her eyes trail off away from you. Not because she's about to pass out, but because she's trying to think. And she goes, last I saw her, she was in the training room. Don't know if she's there, though.
Okay. Okay, well, maybe we can check that out, Doras, and, if anybody has seen her, or if she's not there, then maybe somebody knows where she's gone.
Yeah, sounds good.
And then she just leans
Okay.
back onto the desk again.
Alright.
They really need to hire a second secretary here.
Right. Is there a blanket nearby? Can I
No.
drape a blanket over her?
There's no blanket nearby.
Oh.
Yeah, let's go to the training ground. Let's see if she's there.
Okay, let's go.
Alright, go ahead, both of you roll for perception.
Perception. Okay. Oh, yipey!
Alright, both of you succeed. You step into the training room, slowly scanning the area to try and see where this Ayaya Visk may be, but obviously you don't know what they look like. So you cannot tell if anyone here in this room is Ayaya. However, there is a person that stands out that may be of interest. Considering what you have known about Ayaya, this particular person standing in the back left-hand corner of the room is just your average human male. He currently does not have his shirt on, but that is because he is holding up two different ice packs, one to his shoulder and one on the lower section of his abdomen, because there are large, massive welts on his body, and he is sitting there going... every single time he presses the ice down onto that wound.
I see. We should check there.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. I guess we will approach him and go. Well, essentially, go, are you okay? What happened? How do you get these?
The man looks up in your general direction, sees that, and scans you all over, and he goes, "New recruits, huh?"
Yep, we were actually given directions to go here and look for Miss Ayaya.
Well, you just missed her. She went down to, I can't remember which beach, but she went down to one of the beaches to try and clean them up. Why are you trying to find her?
Well, there was a notice on the board and we just wanted to assist and she's in charge of it.
Okay, that's a good reason. You're not gonna try and challenge her, right? And he moves the ice bags from his body so that you can see the damage of those massive welts that he has in his body. She hits like a fucking truck.
Oh, she
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good thing for us. We have no intention of challenging her. We'll make that very clear, won't we, Doras?
Of course, of course. Did you challenge her?
Yeah.
Well, worth a try, I guess, for you.
I didn't know who she was. I just wanted to train a little bit because I wanted to practice my grappling. I didn't expect to get hit that hard with a stick.
You know what? Understandable. Well, I really appreciate you pointing us in the right direction. Is there like a place for you to get yourself all patched up? I appreciate your help, but I would really hate to just leave you in this position.
Yeah, they got a medical office here. The nurse will probably be back in a little bit. They just gave me some ice packs to hold this over while they get what they needed.
Okay.
Oh yeah, by the way, you're supposed to wrap a cloth around them. Don't put them on directly. You're gonna be fine.
Would have been nice if I was told that. Oh.
Yeah, that's a freeze burn, but the nurse is gonna come. She's gonna fix you up.
The person just starts to complain and deflate after learning that they've been doing it wrong.
Understandable. Well, Aku, I think we have somewhere to be, right?
Yeah. She'll look around. Is the nurse anywhere around?
No, you don't see the nurse anywhere.
Can I go find the nurse? I feel really bad for this guy.
He did say that the nurse will be back. They just gave him ice to hold over to, deal with the welts, and they'll be back in a moment.
Okay.
He just happened.
Sad.
to
I don't have
fucked
any
around.
magic.
He found out.
He
It's
did fuck
fine.
around and then found out. Well, he did say that Aya went down to, or
To
Aya,
a beach. To,
one of the
to
beaches, to
clean
which there are
it up.
2. Well, we'll just say there's East Beach and West Beach.
Well, whichever beach, we'll go look around the general area, and whichever beach looks like it needs cleaning up, they're probably there.
Probably.
So you want to try and find a point in the middle and look down both beaches to see which one's dirtier?
Yes, or in need of cleaning up, because it's not necessarily, like, dirty, but yeah.
Well, I knew what you meant. It's just the one with more wreckage.
Yes.
Alrighty. In which case, I believe that would be a knowledge local check from both of you to actually find a particular location, since you're not from Dragonport, so that would be
No, I do
first.
not have that.
Skill issue.
I know, it is.
Man, I love intelligence checks.
Only one of you succeeds. Obviously. But since you have succeeded, then you would have been directed to the midpoint of both of these beaches. So now you can both make a perception check.
Okay.
Alright. So, Didas, you look down both of these beaches, and you can see that there's still quite a bit of shipwreckage. While a lot of the larger pieces that you would expect have been cleaned up or broken down and swept out, there's still a lot of minor wreckage details that have scattered along the beaches, with quite a few of it looking new as well, as if the current is still bringing in more and more of the debris. However, you can't tell which one is quote-unquote dirtier. They both seem about the same.
When I'm looking around, can I find a person shouting instructions around?
You both can go ahead and make a second perception check.
Okay.
The DC was a 25, so both of you fail.
Ooh.
So,
Well, I guess...
you do not see a person standing around shouting or barking orders. As a matter of fact, what concerns you the most is that both of these beaches are basically empty. Because as you were coming down here, both of them have been quarantined off to prevent people from going onto the beach until they have been fully cleaned up.
You know what? Actually, I have a spell called Message. What I can do is I can send you a message, and we can split up and look around both beaches. And if you find something, then you can just send me a message back.
Let's see how it works. So... let's see. You point your finger at each creature you want to receive the message. When you whisper, the whispered message is audible to all targeted creatures within range. Meaning you have to see each other in order to do so.
Oh. Well, theoretically, would we be able to see each other?
No. Due to the length. Though, we can have you roll for a concentration check for every quote-unquote round that passes.
You know what? Sure, that sounds fun.
That way you can hold the spell, like you've pointed at Dudas, and you have set it up, and for one of you to send a message to the other, if you find this individual that you're looking for, then it activates, but you'll have to succeed in that concentration check. Okay?
Okay. Yeah. You know what? Let's do that. That sounds like fun. Does that
So
sound like
in
a
this
plan,
particular instance, you would get a +4 bonus on that concentration check. And how a concentration check works is you roll a 1d20 plus your caster level. In order to concentrate and maintain the spell, you have to roll a DC of 11 plus the spell level. However, certain instances will cause that DC to increase over time.
Okay.
In this
Alright.
particular instance, because you're not in combat, and things are relatively relaxed, the DC will only increase after every 10th check, meaning after a full minute has passed and you've decided to concentrate on it. But we'll get to that later.
Alright.
Because we want to make sure that you can do the correct number of checks needed before you send the whisper. So the first question would be is who wants to go on the west beach, who wants to go on the east beach?
Guess I'll go west.
Alright, I'll go east then.
Alright. So, this beach is 200 feet long. Each beach is 200 feet long. What is the speed of Duras?
20.
20. So, doing a single move action each round means that you would get there in 10 rounds, so it would take you 1 full minute to get there. Or 30 seconds to get there if you do a double move action. However, all checks that you make along the way require you to do a move action in order to do so, meaning it will take you 10 rounds to get through that whole beach. I'm going to roll a 1d2 here, not telling you which one is 1 and which one is 2, and I am going to have the person that you're looking for be on that beach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Leiku, what is your speed? I assume yours is the base 30, right?
Yes, it is.
Alright. So that would take you 6 rounds-ish. I'll round up to 7. 7 rounds to cover the whole thing. So now we start with both of you making a perception check for that first section of the beach.
Okay.
Both
mine
failed.
takes so long to send.
Alright,
Okay.
both fail. Next roll. Both fail.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
hey.
Next roll. Both fail. Next roll. Alright, we have finally found a success. To which, Leiku, this particular individual is on your side of the beach. But you have to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 concentration rolls. So you're going to roll a 5d20, to which you add your caster level, which is 6, and then a +4 bonus due to the circumstance. So it's a 5d20 plus 10.
5d20 plus 10. Ooh.
Thankfully, they all pass.
That is
So-
good.
Give me a moment for math. Alright, so that has been written in. So, Leiku, as you approach, you find this particular individual picking up and moving debris on the beach over into an aggregated pile. To which, considering that they are the only person here on this beach, you assume them to be Ayaya. You then send the message to Duras, to which Duras receives it, sends the message back saying, okay, I presume, and then you start making your way to where she is, or just turning around and
Yeah,
walking in
exactly.
the opposite direction.
No, I'll go to her.
Yeah, so let's see. If you moved, let's see, 20 feet 4 times, so that's 80 feet in one direction, no, 100 feet in one direction, and Leiku did 150 in the other direction. It's 250 they need to make, so double round move action means you'd get there, you'd see her within 6 rounds, but not actually get there until the 7th. So Leiku, you're going to be with Aya alone, at least for a little while, to which now I can actually send the art of what they look like here into the chat. So Leiku, as you approach this individual, you see something rather strange. This person is a Lamia, which aren't too uncommon. They are more common from the Aquan Society, and certain species are a little bit more common from Kelnor. But what makes this interesting is that they seem to be covered in fur along most of their body, which is not anything that you have ever seen on a Lamia of anything at all. To which, as you start to approach, her head turns to your direction, and a hand lifts up, and once you finally get within earshot, she asks you the basic questions of who you are, what you're doing here, because the beach is closed off to pedestrians at the time being.
Okay. Well, well, this is all true. I'm not gonna lie, because lying, I'm very bad at it.
Yeah, this isn't the AOA campaign.
What? Shut up. Anyway. Well, my friend and I are part of the mercenary guild. We saw your notice on the board, and we wanted to look for you and possibly assist.
Go ahead and roll for diplomacy.
That is true. Leiku will help clean up the beach if needed. Okay, my diplomacy is this. 25.
Alright, you succeed. To which, Aya looks back at you. Her eyes narrow a bit, not because she doesn't believe you, but because it seems a little too good to be true, at least in her mind. And she goes, "What, are you a new recruit that just joined today or something?"
Technically, yeah. I filled out the paperwork a small while ago with my friend. We forgot to come back and pick up our shit. So, yes.
Okay, well, why are you here? She motions. Clearly, the Mercenary Guild's not particularly interested in something like this.
Well, I don't know. I find it interesting. Like, how did all this get here? Can I use my antenna now?
I was gonna say roll for bluff, because that's technically a lie.
What? How is that a lie?
Because
I do want to know what that is and how that ended up here.
Okay, fine. Roll for diplomacy. And your antenna won't tell you any information here.
Oh.
Remember, sense motive is to determine someone's motive, as well as whether or not they're lying. She nods along to what you tell her and goes, "Okay, I must have missed that. I'm usually a bit more active in the onboarding process, but if you happened to miss your normal orientation, then I guess we wouldn't have met." She then looks around the beach, going, "In regards to this, I'm surprised that you don't already know. Are you not native here? Did you just move to the city as well?"
Well, I am not from here.
Is that all you're gonna say?
I mean, I am not from here. I haven't exactly found a place to settle down. I'm just traveling with my friend.
Okay, well...
Which,
then
by the way, is all true.
I'm aware. Every single time you open your mouth in these particular situations, you use the tone like you're lying.
It's because I'm a suspicious individual. That
Then
doesn't
stop
mean
being
that my
suspicious.
My characters are not suspicious!
Then play your character better.
My characters are fine!
Then play your character better. Stop being suspicious.
I am a schemer! I am a schemer! Telling the truth is
stop
foreign!
scheming.
I am a schemer!
Stop being a skaven. Why are you hissing at me?
I don't know. It felt right. Anyway, continue, God.
Fucking. As you tell her that you're not from the area and you're not really planning on settling down, you're just trying to help, she looks at you obviously confused, and she goes, okay, then why not pick Tarantus as your guild entry of choice? They usually do missions that travel around the area. The Duchess has a tendency to use us as petty bodyguards or petty cleanup, as you can tell.
Oh. I see. Well, I guess we could just call it fate. I did happen to be in the area after all.
Uh-huh. Well, if you want to help, I would like it if you could clean up that area over there, and she just points to a small section of debris that is currently being pushed into the sand by the waves.
Okay. Is there any way, like, okay, as I am doing this and I'm cleaning up, is there any way for me to, like, inspect the debris?
For what?
You know, to see what it was, where it came from, like,
Yeah.
like what could have blown it up this way or whatever.
You can go ahead and roll a perception check. Though as you start cleaning up the debris and everything else, this would be the time that Didas would eventually show up. So Didas, you would effectively show up as this snake woman, and Leiku in two different parts of the beach are just picking up debris and bringing them over to a small pile and everything else. To which Leiku, as you set down your last couple of planks of wood into the pile that Aya has made, you start inspecting it, and you see that the planks of wood had to have been blown apart in some way, shape, or form. While it may not be too uncommon for planks to break in certain ways and fall off, the way that this wood has splintered has indicated some type of full-on rupture.
I would like to use detect magic on the wood.
You find nothing.
Nothing. Okay.
You gonna be doing anything to us?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna, I guess, introduce myself to, I think, is Ayaya. Oh, hi, I assume you're Ayaya, and you've met my friend Leiku. I think she's explained most of it. We're here to help.
She looks over in your general direction. You can go ahead and roll for perception.
Okay.
Wait, what did I say to roll for?
Perception.
Perception.
Sorry, diplomacy. I'm a fucking idiot.
Oh, that's a lot worse.
Can you just take this roll?
Alright, you succeed. And she nods along, and she looks over at Leiku, motioning to Dras, and says, is this the friend that you were talking about before?
Yes. Yes, this is. That's Dora. Say hi.
Hi, Doras.
No, that's okay.
She looks between the both of you. Some friends, I guess. Seem very awkward with each other.
Jokes aren't my strong thing, I guess.
She just stares between the both of you like she's expecting some kind of friendly conversation.
What? We're gonna do a job.
I mean,
Well.
yeah, we came to the guild here together. We've been talking for a while, and we're kind of here to work. I guess stuff from there to here? That the plan?
Yeah, we're cleaning up the planks. Though I'm still confused as to why you two would want to help. No one else in the guild wants to help.
Well, I mean, a bit of exercise that doesn't involve danger is probably good for my old bones.
She looks you up and down, as well, you're a tiefling, so it's not like I'd be able to tell how old you are.
Wait, let me check. Well, I'm getting up there, so yeah.
I'm getting up there, he says after going, let me check to see how old I am. Did you never put down an age?
No, it's 55. I just didn't want to say 55 in character because old people don't announce the age.
I know a lot of old people that brag about how old they are, but okay.
Sure.
Ugh. She goes, well, if you're all willing to help, then just go find a pile. I guess for you, you can go down to that section, I guess. She points a little bit further down the beach.
Do it, no problem. And I just start working.
Alright. To which, this will be the part where I switch back over to Locke and Reich, due to the fact that the two of you have effectively pigeonholed yourself into cleaning.
Well, that's what we said we were
Okay.
gonna do, and I figured that we would just inspect the area and see what actually happened before we start talking to Aya.
You would need previous knowledge to know that type of stuff.
Well,
Regardless, Locke, Reich, what you gonna do?
Okay, Locke, how about we talk strategy first, because we don't want to go contradicting each other once we're in there.
Okay, works for me.
So, what do we want to tell the Duchess? We'll say we're like private investigators looking into this? Or do we just straight up say we're from the guild?
We can say we're from the guild without specifying a guild and let her decide which guild she thinks we're from.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
I mean,
Let's
she
go
might
with
just
that.
get it right away and be either willing or not willing to speak to us. But if we never specify a guild, we aren't technically lying.
Lying by omission is still a lie, you know that, right?
No, not true.
Right, okay, so we're saying we're from the guild, we were hired to investigate the wreckage and look for survivors. Let's be as general as possible and not go into details. And
Yep.
try to avoid contradictions and everything.
Yes.
Good, great, amazing, we have a plan, let's go.
Good, great, amazing, we have a plan, let's go. Alright, so you're just gonna go straight to the Duchess's house, huh? Yes?
I would assume does she have an office
In her house?
where she does like official business?
Do you not remember her house? You robbed her before.
Yes, no, I just remembered.
we block out the crimes because if we forget that we ever did them, then that means we're innocent because we didn't do them. 'Cause we forgot.
Locke, I think we'll have to get a... What's it called?
She never saw
Appointments.
either of you. The two people who went and talked to her were Leiku and Deras.
Let's just go and see if we can talk to the woman.
Yeah. And if
Did
not,
you forget
then we'll
that too?
make an appointment.
That you actually chose the best two to go there because she never saw either of you?
Well, she didn't technically see either of them as well. They
No,
were
she saw...
disguised.
She saw Leiku and Deras. Their disguises weren't all that great. Regardless. So the both of you go to Duchess Polta's mansion. And as you approach the front door, You see that there are 2 guards standing with rather large halberds standing at the front door. To which they both eye you as you approach, and when you get close enough, they cross the halberds and they ask, "State your business."
Excuse me. We're here on behalf of the guild. We were sent to investigate the wreckage and spearhead the search for survivors. We would like to seek the Duchess's cooperation in this endeavor and have come here to request said cooperation.
Go ahead and roll for bluff.
Okay. Bluff. Good thing I'm also good at lying.
I assume this is just Reich Roland, since he's the one speaking.
Correct. The guards listen, and they nod along, and they go, "Oh, well, good to know that the paperwork has finally gotten through," and they open up their halberds, letting you in through the door, to which one of them asks, "You know the way to the office, yes?"
No, I've never been there. Could you lead me there?
Both guards look at you suspiciously. You don't remember? Thought you were from the guild.
I haven't been there yet. I haven't been a part of the guild for a long time.
Roll for bluff. You fucked it.
Maybe one person should have gone from the guild over there.
Both guards cross their halberds again and politely ask you to leave.
What? Why? What's with you people? I thought we were supposed to go in.
The guards simply answer, "If you were from the guild, regardless of how long you've been, you'd know how to get to her office. Since you don't, you're very clearly not from the guild. Leave."
Okay, so... Yeah, that's... I suppose really the only option is that we turn around and walk away.
Or you sneak it.
Yeah, but even to do that, we have to turn around and walk away.
Yes, that's true.
Indeed. God damn it!
Why didn't I do more snooping last time?
Well, then we're just gonna leave, I guess.
And then what?
When we're out of range of the guards, I'll turn to Locke. So, invisibility potions?
Now, I have 4 slots, so I could make 2 invisibility potions and 2 potions of spider climb. That would give us 1, the invisibility to not be seen, and 2, a way to not just have to walk straight past guards whilst being invisible.
Assuming they have any open windows.
I mean, we already know that the big window can be opened. It was my way in last time.
That's precisely why I fear they've expanded security on it.
True, I suppose. Okay, maybe we need to. Yeah. Do you know what? Saying about sneaking in, do we even think we have to speak to her nonetheless? So if we just effectively break in and try to start a conversation, do we think she'll speak to us, or do we think she'll just summon the guards?
Honestly, fair point. I guess we'll have to try anyways. Or we'll tell those guys that we are not from the guild they thought we are.
I mean, we could try complete honesty and inform them, directly which guild, but...
Well,
I feel like you are a better communicator than I am.
Yeah, I thought so too, but then I blundered this. But I can try again.
Literally just had to say yes. That's literally all you had to do.
Well, I did in fact not know where the office is.
So, which way do you want to do it? Do you want to pry words and full honesty of which guild?
I'll try to see if I can make this right with words, and if I can't, then I guess we'll just have to break in.
You've already made them hostile to you. YGS said, yes, guards of a mansion that was recently robbed. We are indeed part of the Thieves Guild. I feel like I have to have video game multiple choice mechanics every single time I do this type of campaign, because there are so many other pieces of information.
Natural-born criminals. You should be happy you're not running a campaign with natural-born criminals.
Because there are multiple pieces of information that you could have that you can use to get in, and various other things. Like you can just go and grab the two people, grab their IDs, and forge your IDs over their IDs to prove that you're part of the guild. It was discussed multiple times. The Mercenary Guild uses IDs to prove that they are part of the guild. You can just forge your own. You can just sneak in and then go and talk to her, potentially. But of course, out of all the options you pick, the one that you want is to go back and talk to them.
You know what? This actually sounds important to her. So maybe if we just go in, maybe she'll be interested enough in hearing us out.
My skills, not yours, is basically what you're saying.
I think my skills have failed us pretty consistently up to now. So yes.
But you came from a family that literally taught you how to be a criminal. Why are you so bad at being a criminal?
Well, it is my, I don't know, rebellion against my upbringing, I guess.
Rebellion against your upbringing, sure.
Then I will spend a little bit of time mixing up a couple of potions, providing each of us with a potion of invisibility and a potion of spider climb. Which does tap out my level 2 slots for the day,
So you're gonna do 2 spider climb and 2 invisibility so that both of you can climb up the wall on the outside of the mansion.
I mean, it's that, or just... Wait. Use brain.
Do you have an idea?
Well,
knock out
just...
the guards?
I mean,
joke.
Yeah, but also no. No, we should probably check the perimeter, see if there is a
More convenient
If there is
entrance,
just
like the back door.
yeah.
The back door is across an
I suppose
open
there is
area.
probably a back door that also has guards that you could potentially try and talk to.
I don't think the
But-
back door guards are going to be as inclined to talk to us as the front door guards.
I like how I straight up said,
Probably
why
not.
would you go back and talk when you've already failed to talk, and your immediate response is, hey, let's talk some more. Every
Let's
time
talk to
without
somebody
fail.
else.
Do something else, please.
No, let's just let's go. Let's just
but,
check
yeah,
if there's
we-
a better route, and then
Check for any potential open windows or anything like that. Any entrance that may seem difficult but doable with spider climb.
You mean the wall that you climbed before with spider climb?
Well, yeah, but they might have reinforced that window after I broke in through it last time.
You mean the window that was open?
Well, oh, it was, wasn't it? I forgot it was open. I thought I had to sort of jimmy it from the
I guess I
outside.
have to just double check if it's still open.
Yeah,
Screaming.
Let's do it.
go and see where. Well, yeah, we'll go and check the window that I went through last time to see if it is open or not.
So what's the plan? What is the finalized plan?
Yeah, we're taking the 2 potions and trying the window again. And if not, we'll try a different window.
Yeah, we'll go to that window first because invisibility only lasts 1 minute per level, so we have 2 minutes of invisibility.
That's not how that works. It's your caster level.
Oh, caster level. I thought it was just
If
like
it was spell level, it would stay spell level.
I figured if it was caster level, it would say caster level, but fair enough.
No, it would just say level, because it's your level.
Oh, then we have 6 minutes.
Okay. In which case, both of you go ahead and roll climb to climb the building. Remember that you get a +8 bonus to climb here.
Yep, that's already included.
Okay.
Yep.
Alright, so
I
thankfully, both of you succeeded in this climb check. And spider climb does reduce DCs in order to climb sheer surfaces. You manage to make your way up to the top, and when you get there, you find that the Duchess herself is standing out on the balcony. Well, not standing out on the balcony. She's sitting down in one of her little chairs on the balcony, drinking some tea and simply watching the foliage that is nearby her house.
Well, that makes it easier. To speak to her? This is the woman we came to speak to.
You're
Invisible?
also both invisible.
So we drop invisibility and speak to her, whilst apologizing for approaching invisibly.
While hanging from the wall?
Oh my god.
Onto the balcony. You don't do it from the wall. We're not Spider-Man.
Or maybe you go inside the house, wait for invisibility to wear off, and you walk up the stairs and then you announce yourself as if you came through the front door.
Yeah, I was about to suggest that. No, we should actually go around. We should not jump scare her. That would probably not invite a lot of trust. Let's see if we can go in somewhere else.
And yes, let's find a way inside to announce ourselves when we are no longer invisible then. We look for a way in.
You mean through the open door? That would be open because she's out on the balcony. That she opened because she's out on the balcony.
We go through the open door.
Yeah, let's just sneak
I was
past
trying
it.
very carefully not to make a noise and startle her.
Yes, both of you would need to roll for stealth, which thankfully you get a plus 20 on that stealth check to do so. I saw one there and I was about to throw a shit fit.
It would have been so funny.
It's
All
the
right.
worst kind of physical failure. It's double ones.
Alright.
Getting
So you
killed while
sneak
trying
your
to
way
ask.
into her house, to which now you effectively have to roll for stealth until your invisibility wears off. Because the only other way to make your invisibility wear off is if you do an offensive action against someone, which if you do that, obviously that's just not a good idea. So effectively you'd be standing around doing nothing, which means you both get to make another stealth check, but because you're not moving, you get a plus 40 bonus to the roll. I was about to throw
Rolls
another.
are awful.
I was about to just flip the table and go, all right, guys, no recession today.
I'm sorry, Dice, but please forgive me for my sins.
All right.
No, it's funnier this way.
So, the invisibility eventually wears off. You find yourself partway up the stairs to her personal abode, to which, as soon as the invisibility wears off and you both recognize that it has, you start making your way up the stairs, talking to each other about anything in particular. Effectively, it's just a matter of announcing your presence. As you make your way up the stairs, you see that the Duchess herself has effectively moved her way out of the chair and started to walk her way out of the balcony and down the hallway of her personal quarters, to which your conversation ends. And when she asks the both of you why you were here, you both effectively answer saying that you attempted to go to her office, but she wasn't there, so you were told by the guards to come up here to talk to her. So both of you go ahead and roll for bluff. There, I'll help you out so that you don't fumble the fucking ball again. Oh my god, please.
I have had it too good in our previous sessions. The bot is back with a vengeance.
So we'll just say that Reich talked over Locke a little bit in regards to it, and with what you say, that the guards downstairs told you to come upstairs in order to speak with her. The Duchess seems a little confused, saying, oh, well, it's not necessarily the protocol, but yeah, today I'll let it slide. I'll figure out who said that and give them a stern talking to. What can I do the both of you for? Why are you here?
We're here to inquire about any information that will help us in the investigation of the wrecked ship that recently washed ashore.
Oh? Go ahead and roll for bluff.
Is that a lie?
Technically, yeah.
Alright. God!
She goes, oh? Okay, well, I know I requested the guild some time ago, and they accepted the job in relation to cleaning up, but I'm surprised the follow-up has been this quick. Usually you're all bogged down by paperwork at this point in time. Though I am a bit confused that you wouldn't know anything yourself. I thought I sent all the information that I knew with it.
Truth be told, we were not sent by the mercenary guild.
Are you
We were not
going to
sent
do
by
this?
the guild in...
Are you going to do this? You were going to tell them that you're not from the mercenary guild.
If you ask that.
I already went on a 2-minute tangent about how terrible that idea was. Even YGF is saying bail, abort, mayday. Please. Please. It's so easy to just lie.
I'm sorry, it
it's not.
seemed extremely urgent and we didn't have time to read through all the paperwork. We were...
Literally could just say,
So-
I do know, I just want to double check, so can you tell me? Like, it's so simple to lie. Screaming.
We are not liars, except for me, because apparently when I try and tell the truth, I sound like a schemer.
It's because you're always scheming.
No.
See?
No. Hi, Monsieur.
It's the only time she's not scheming, when she's talking to the dog.
Hello.
And then the dog's scheming.
He's always scheming.
Okay, so I will repeat myself, and hopefully one of you doesn't shit the bed immediately. Hopefully one of you doesn't pull an Amber Heard. She's going to say that she is surprised that the guild moved so quickly to get here, but she is also a little surprised about the fact that neither of you seem to know the information that she has already sent, considering the question that you have asked her.
We just wanted to double check the information and see if you had any new information gathered since you sent the request.
Go ahead and roll for bluff.
Okay.
Thank
God.
She nods
Thank
along and
Christ.
goes, okay, makes sense. If things were a little rushed, you wouldn't be able to tell. And she goes on to say that when the wreckage started to first wash up onto the shore, she thought it was just another attack because the way that the ship itself was blown apart and everything else, that it had to have been destroyed by pirates. And eventually, on the second day after the guild was cleaning it up, a man washed ashore by the name of Fargus, and it was Fargus that said that they were attacked by the Daiquiri pirates. She then goes on to clarify that this Fargus individual is apparently the only survivor.
Is Fargus still in town? Would we be able to speak to him?
She tilts her head and she goes, yeah, I'm surprised you didn't already speak to him. Was Fargus not in the report?
He likely was, but the information wasn't Nobody mentioned him to me. I
We
may
wanted
have
to get all
simply.
our facts together
Yeah.
before we initiate the investigation for real.
Both of you go ahead and roll for bluff.
Piece of shit!
13 in bluff, still can't lie.
It's incredible.
Alright, so as the both of you explain, effectively going back and forth with double checking your records, and that the records themselves were a little fudged due to how rushed it was, she goes, okay, yeah, that makes sense, I guess. And she seems to be a little confused and mildly suspicious of the both of you. She goes, you know, in that report, you were both supposed to come to me and tell me if you've discovered anything new, have you?
Not yet, we're working on it.
Roll for bluff. If you roll a 4 again, I'm gonna be so mad. Oh, thank fuck.
Hey!
He nods and goes, okay.
And Shane to just leave.
What was that?
I was half expecting a nat 1 and for you to just leave the call.
Yeah, probably.
Nat 1, she pulls a gun and shoots me in the head.
Nat 1, Ione herself comes down and smites both of you. Reroll a character.
Ione picks you up and takes you up to meet God. There's no other option.
She nods along to the statement and going, okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I know you guys haven't been entirely organized as of late, to which, you know, I can't really understand why that would be the case. You know, while it is a city, the Tarantus section of your guild doesn't seem to have any of these logistical issues that you guys have. You know, it took you 2 weeks for you to even heed my call to clean up the ship. The townsfolk were up in arms against me, making it seem like it was my fault that it was just laying there when I hired you for a job.
Unfortunately, bureaucracy often gets in the way of having minions like us dispatched to do the jobs.
Go ahead and roll for diplomacy.
Oh, balls. Okay. This is practically all on the roll. Oh, thank God.
She simply rolls her eyes and sighs and goes, bureaucracy this, bureaucracy that. Fine, fine, whatever. In case your bureaucracy didn't tell you, Fargus is located, and then she names the tavern that he's at. He's been there for the past couple of weeks recovering. I don't know how well he's doing now, but hopefully he's feeling a little bit better than before. To which you can both go ahead and roll sense motive. As she says this, the way that she says it raises small little red flags in your mind to indicate that Fargus was never actually taken to a hospital.
Why am I not surprised?
She then looks at the both of you and goes, are there any other questions? Because this conversation seemed rather redundant. I don't mean to be rude, but it was a little redundant.
No, I believe that we are fully up to date. I apologize for taking up your time, and we will be sure to report back to you when we have any additional information for you.
Okay, looking forward to it. And now both of you need to roll for stealth to leave the building.
Without the bonus of
Yep,
invisibility.
without the bonuses from invisibility.
Double check something real quick.
Oh, you got a ninja skill?
Yep.
Making Locke. Do you have a ninja skill that turns you invisible for a temporary amount of time? Because if you do,
Yeah,
Locke may or may
6
not
rounds.
strangle you.
No, we're gonna be fine. Yeah, 6 rounds. Would 6 rounds be relevant from my knowledge of breaking out of houses?
Yes. So you get to roll with a plus 20 bonus. since you
Alright,
can
then
do
I
that.
will. Then I will do the ninja trick, the vanishing trick.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 20. And good thing I did.
Thank God you did. So, Locke, how do you feel that your partner in crime here can turn invisible without your potions?
As a player, I think I wasted a resource. Locke, however, will probably not notice.
No, Locke would notice. Because you'd be traveling together. Locke would have started sneaking, and then Reich would have started sneaking and gone poof to turn invisible to sneak better.
Then he's probably half annoyed, half impressed.
You gonna say anything to Reich about this?
Probably not directly, but just in that moment in which he turns invisible, there would just be a small son of a bitch.
Alright, so we'll pivot again. We'll go back to Leiku and Duras, to which I would like the both of you to make a 5d20 plus your strength mod.
How many d20 plus strength?
5.
5. Okay. Oh, I don't have the good strength. It's okay. I'm pretty, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
And then that's that. Alright. So for a good portion of the day, you've been moving planks and everything else and debris, putting it all up into a relatively large pile. And this takes several hours. The sun is beginning to set when this happens. To which, when it's all done, you see that Aya starts to dig a pit around this debris before eventually pulling out gasoline or whatever oil, a substance that is highly flammable, before striking a match and lighting the debris on fire. After she does this, she turns to the both of you and says, "Thanks. I don't know how much the pay would be, but we can go back and report that we cleaned up a good portion of the beach here and see how much we actually get."
Cool. Sounds good.
Yeah, let's do that.
So she leads you back to the Mercenary Guild, which isn't that long of a walk. And when you get there, she goes over to the secretary, and you hear her and the secretary talk back and forth. And then Aya is given some paperwork in relation to this, to which she finds a chair nearby and starts filling out the paperwork And as she does this, she goes, you know, it might have slipped my mind while we were doing it, but I don't think I asked for either of your names.
Oh, well, we introduced. This is Leiku and I'm Dodas.
Okay, well, nice to meet you. And she holds a hand out for each of you to shake, to which I presume you would do.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
And as she goes back to her paperwork, she asks, so what made you want to try and help with such a menial task? Most people that are a part of the mercenary guild, you know, want to do more than just be an errand boy or an errand girl.
I'm guessing that casting message so that we could communicate telepathically is not a good idea in this situation.
Well, yeah, obviously, they would catch you casting it.
You know, I'm just gonna speak up. You know, a couple of weeks ago when the general was killed, I don't know, I thought maybe it had to do something, you know.
That was
now
several
we have a
months.
whole
That was a
wreckage
couple months ago. But yeah.
here. Oh, like now we have like a
Take a look.
big ass wreckage here. I thought maybe I can find something while helping that links the two together. I'm kind of interested in, you know, the generals from the war back then.
She looks up at you a bit confused and she says, you think the shipwreck has to do with the general's death?
I don't know, shot in the dark, maybe. I was just interested and was looking for work. Two birds, one stone.
What would be your connection? Like, sure, he was murdered on his boat, but what does that have to do with pirates?
I mean, maybe, well, I don't know, maybe pirates were responsible for killing him and the boat shows like similar big ass holes. I don't know.
She slowly shakes her head and there's a soft sigh and she goes, the Daiquiri pirates don't do assassinations.
How would you know that?
She looks over towards Leiku and says, well, if you're in the slave trading business, why would you assassinate people? Or better yet, even if you do want to kill someone who's in the way of that particular goal, why wouldn't you kill anyone else on that boat? The Daiquiri pirates are well known for very, very rarely leaving witnesses to what they do. So why would they kill one person that is attached to a big city and no one else on that ship was affected? Definitely not the Daiquiri pirates. To which you can go ahead and roll sense motive.
Can my antenna help with this?
Yes.
Do I get a circumstantial bonus?
I believe that's your racial bonus that's already attached to sense motive.
Is it? Okay, I'll take a look.
Yeah, you should have like a +4 racial
Because
bonus.
I don't have sense motive as a skill.
I told you to add it to your sheet.
Thought I did already. Hold on. SE.
Because then you were just going to remove some of your skill points from one of your other skills that you don't want to use and then put it into sense motive. Because you then would have gotten a +4 racial bonus due to your antenna to sense motive.
Right. Is sense motive based off of whiz?
Yes.
Okay, alright. Just needed to make sure so I can write the right thing there. Which I will take it out of this and I'll put it into this. Alright, cool. Okay. Put it into this, which means, hold on, I'm doing some quick math.
I know, I'm waiting. because you got to do your base whiz, and you got to move your 6 skill points from one skill to another skill, and then you give yourself the +3 class skill bonus as well as the +4 racial bonus, and then you got to recalculate those 2 skills.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
There you go. All right.
Alright, so that's your roll?
Yep.
Alright. As she talks about this in this particular fashion, Dadas, you don't sense anything out of the ordinary. But Leiku, you sense that there is something a little bit more underneath the surface. Though you cannot specify as to what. It's like that feeling of talking to someone who's withholding a little bit of information that adds context, but you can't tell what. That makes sense?
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
Well, if it has nothing to do with the general, do we know anything else about this crash except that the pirates were probably involved?
Could you repeat that, please? Your microphone cut out for me.
Oh, sorry. I was just asking if we know anything about this crash except that the pirates were involved.
Anything else about the crash? Are you asking me, or are you asking Aya?
Aya.
She shrugs a bit and goes, I mean, no, not really. There is a survivor by the name of Fargus, but that's about it. To which, again, both of you can go ahead and roll sense motive.
Okay.
Both of you succeed in this, to which we'll go off of Leiku. Not only do both of you know that she is lying by omission, but Leiku, you sense that there is something a little bit more personal in relation to the wreckage.
I see.
Well,
if Leiku doesn't say anything, I'm gonna say something. Well, you've been questioning and interrogating almost us. Why we would help clean up the beach? Is there a reason why you do it?
she'll wiggle back and forth and just shrug and go, well, you know, the mercenary guild is supposed to help, right? Someone has to do it.
Right.
To which, again, both of you can go ahead and roll sense motive.
Yeah.
Come on, give me one good roll.
It is effectively just reiteration. You can tell that she's lying about something, though neither of you can really place on it as to what it could possibly be.
Well, I know
think
that
I'm out of
since
question.
our job here is technically done, would it be possible if the both of us could speak to you like over like some tea or like a meal to ask you a little bit more about the Daiquiri Pirates? Because I personally don't know much, but I would like to be informed.
She looks at both of you a bit weird, and she goes, "What are you two swingers or something? Are you asking me out on a date?"
No. What? No.
Very strange for you to ask me to go with you and him out to dinner to talk about pirates? Really? That's your pickup line? Are you sure you're not swingers? You're both kind of fucking weird if that's what it is.
I think she's stupid.
I mean, weird ones, really. Doesn't matter.
Look, man, I just wanted to talk to you more about how the Daiquiri Pirates function. I'm just curious. I would like to be informed.
Why do you think I would know? I'm just a member of the Mercenary Guild, to which both of you can go ahead and roll sense motive.
Stop lying to me! Stop lying, I'm
That's
lying,
the
you're lying,
of course.
Dras is completely unaware of what's going on, to which Leiku, you can tell that she is now just outright lying to you.
Leiku's not gonna say anything, she's just gonna give Aya a knowing look.
Are you gonna give her the mom look?
Yeah.
Roll for Intimidate.
Okay. Which I do actually have. Why did I put this in here instead of something else that's important? Okay, alright, well.
I'm just looking confused at Leiku, like, are you asking her out? I don't know what's happening anymore. I'm confused.
Why would you think okay, I'm gonna have to have a serious talk with you later.
I wonder what Hissy's doing throughout all of this, because you're supposed to be controlling him too.
Well, Hissy's not in the... He won't be allowed in the building, would he?
Well, he's your pet, so yeah.
Hissy would probably try and nuzzle up against Aya's fur. You know, for schmel.
Okay. So,
Cat.
Aya, temporarily distracted by this cat, just puffing her scent like it's some kind of drug. As cats tend to do. She looks back at Leiku after her statement is made, and she sees the mom look. And she stares back at Leiku, to which the look that she returns isn't one of fear or sorry, it is of childish, defiant annoyance. And she goes, "Fine, but I'm taking your cut of the pay."
All right, then.
She then continues to fill out the paperwork, to which you notice as she does so, she doesn't actually mind anything that Hissy is doing to her tail. Though, whenever Hissy does do something that is a bit, we'll say, inappropriate, or is getting a little bit too rough, she swats him on the top of the nose with the tip of her tail.
To which he'll go... And then continue.
To which he'll just get swatted again. Eventually, she finishes the paperwork and hands it over to the clerk. The clerk reads it over and hands over 3 small bags of gold, to which Aya collects all 3. She then ties each of them to her waist so that she doesn't lose them, and she says, "Okay, there is a tavern," to which she gives you the name to, that I'm too lazy to think of the name of it right now. "I'll meet you there in about 30 minutes. Shouldn't take me too long to get back home." I'll get back home, quickly wash all this sand off of me, and then I'll meet you there. Okay?
All right.
Sounds good.
Alright.
Hold on. Wait. Sense mode to make sure she's telling the truth.
Sure, go ahead and roll sense motive to see if she's telling the
Just want to
truth.
make sure we're not getting stood up. Hold on.
You can tell that she is telling the truth.
Awesome. We'll see you there.
Alright, so now we switch back over to Locke and Reich. who would at this point be walking down the path away from Duchess Polta's mansion. What are you two going to be doing now?
So, guess let's look for this Fargus guy.
Do we want to go looking for Fargus, or should we find the others and then go speak to Fargus?
What, you concerned I'll fuck it up again?
No.
Then let's just go. There's no time to waste.
Okay.
No.
Go speak to Fargus.
Just no.
We look for the tavern that was told to us where Fargus is.
So you're gonna go to where Fargus is?
Yes.
Yes.
Alright, so give me just a second. Alright. So, you go over to the tavern in which the Duchess has told you where he is and all that type of stuff. Thanks, dear.
What?
It's because I'm in D&D. That's why I can't tell you. 'Cause I got
That's
a point.
okay.
I got a point. Basically. But yeah. You go over to the tavern where the Duchess told you that Fargus is currently staying, to which, at this point you would roll Knowledge Local to talk to the bartender, the person who's keeping the tavern, what his room would be and where. So go ahead and both of you roll Knowledge Local.
Because of inspiration is free when it's a knowledge skill.
Nice. At least you remembered this time. You know, you could have been adding them to a lot of other skill checks. Alright, so when you talk to the tavern keeper on where Fargus's room is and everything else, the tavern keeper does tell you that Fargus is indeed here at the tavern, but they don't want to tell you where the room is. They seem to be a tad suspicious, and they ask you why you're here to try and question the man, considering what has happened.
So we're obviously investigating the shipwreck, and Lady Poltra actually pointed us in his direction. That's why we're here now.
Go ahead, roll for diplomacy.
Which is not a lie.
Because you didn't mention the guild. Otherwise, it would have been a bluff.
I mean, it doesn't matter. They're the same bonus anyways.
Yeah, I'm aware, but the DCs that you have to beat change. I have a DC for literally every single option that you have. And they do change. But you tell them that and they go, oh, okay, well, I guess that makes sense. And they tell you that he's on the second floor, third room on the right. To which you make your way upstairs, you knock on the door, and you just hear this incessant, angry groaning from the other side, and some person slowly dragging themselves across the room, and then eventually the door opens, and there you see Fargus himself, to which it is quite clear that he is deeply, deeply unhappy as he looks at you, to which both of you can go ahead and roll for perception.
Didn't I? Yes, I can use it on perception. Okay, so
Nice.
I mean, you nat one. Oh no, wait. Reich nat one. Sorry. Alrighty, so Locke. As this person answers the door, you give him a relatively quick once-over in regards to how he looks, and you can see that the damage is pretty damn bad. His arm is in a cast, he's got bandage over his face that's still stained with blood. His left leg is in a splint, and the splint itself probably needs to be readjusted. And when he starts speaking to the both of you, he's very crass, he's very harsh. And he goes, "What the fuck do you two want? Why the fuck are you two here?"
well, primarily we're here investigating the shipwreck, but it looks like you haven't seen any kind of medical treatment, so I could take a look at that for you if you'd like.
Go ahead and roll diplomacy.
I can't use it on that. Don't think. Oh, I can. Nice.
You'd be
Oh wait,
surprised
as long as
how
I have
many.
skill points in it. I don't have skill points in it. Well, I don't have ranks in it, so I can't. Actually, I can, because I've just got to use it. I just have to use one of my inspirations for it, so I'll do that.
Like I said, you'd be surprised how many things you can use your inspiration points on.
And so I will use one inspiration point that I actually have to spend. So, 22.
To which he immediately responds with, "You don't fucking think? No shit, I need help. Go get me a fucking doctor."
Sir, sit down. I am your doctor.
What, you little runt? You're half my size. How can you be a doctor?
You know what? You don't want help, that's fine.
Go ahead and roll sense motive. Before you actually respond to him.
Okay. Okay, this is a free one, though, so...
He is an investigator great, just extra EXP.
31.
All doctors are at least 6 feet tall. True, very true. You can tell that the reason why this person is being antagonistic isn't because he doesn't think you're a doctor, is because he's been in so much pain over the last couple of weeks that any and all logical thought just doesn't exist anymore. To any person that has worked EMS or anything close to it, they know.
I will say... Listen, I know the pain has to have been excruciating.
I mean, you can just inject him with drugs.
I could.
You have cure spells,
However,
after all.
I do, but I also very rarely get to use my actual heal skill, so...
Oh no, you'll still
I'm
use that. I'm just saying that you can use that as you talk to him to just inject him with drugs to get him to relax.
Then that is what I will do.
Which cure
ease
spell
his
you gonna
pain.
use?
Well, the only one I can use is Cure Light Wounds because I've used all of my second level slots already.
Fair.
Even though it turns out somebody could have become invisible on their own.
Hold on. I
so-
have a soundboard for this for when you turn to someone with accusation. It's this.
Damn.
Okay, I'm sorry. In my defense, I didn't know how long we would have been up there, and yours lasts 10 times as long as mine. And I'll turn to Fargus. Don't take this out of context.
But yeah, I will use a Cure Light Wounds to help ease his pain.
Alright, so you basically just tell him, hey, man, calm down, take some drugs, and then you inject him with drugs.
Yep.
Alright, so go ahead and roll Cure or well, roll for your cure, and remember that you do get to add your heal mod to that roll.
Okay, so
A doorstop? No, YGF, that's a lawn chair. It's the plastic lawn chairs that scrape against the concrete. You know, when you gotta turn to a person who has deeply offended you, you scrape your lawn chair against the ground.
so it's 1d8 plus 5 plus my heal. But I don't get to add inspiration because it's not.
It's
an
not an
actual
heal check. Yeah, I do that daily. Yeah, exactly, see?
So.
Yeah, it's not a heal check, it's casting a spell. So.
It's 1d8. 20.
I'm surprised your heal is so low. Oh no, wait, the 10 is the heal, the 5 is from the actual spell. Okay.
Yeah, it was just that I already had the 10 there, so
I
just left the 10 there.
Alright. And then go ahead and roll for diplomacy as well. To which you do get a +4 bonus on this roll due to the circumstance.
Okay. So. 20.
Are you going to be using another inspiration as well?
Yeah, I might as well. Okay.
Alrighty. To which, as you tell him to relax and calm down, that you are there genuinely to try and help, you inject him with drugs while he's not looking as he begins to try and berate you in return, and in the middle of the sentence, he almost immediately relaxes and his body starts to wobble back and forth, to which you'd be too tall to keep him upright. So, Reich, go ahead and make a reflex save.
Reflex save, okay.
Good job. Thank God that the DC was a 10. I said good, at least the DC was a 10, so you know what, at least you still passed. Reich, you quickly step in as Fargus starts to wobble back and forth. You place a hand against his back, and while Fargus does hiss a little bit from the fact that you are touching some wounds on his back that you obviously wouldn't have known that were there, he does manage to squeak out a small thank you, at least for the both of you. And then he looks down at Locke and he goes, "Sorry, man, just not having a good time."
It's okay. Pain makes us do a lot of questionable things.
He then starts to hobble his way back into the room, to which I assume, Reich, you're going to help him with a little bit?
Yeah, I'm just gonna let him lay his arm around me and try to be a crutch.
Alright, so I'm going to need a strength check from you.
Oh boy, let's see if I can do an adequate job as an inanimate object.
Yes.
Oh, that's a very depressing thing to say. Apparently not.
Alrighty, so you help him hobble over to his bed and you help him lay back down. And as he's laying back down, despite the fact that it still obviously hurts for him to do so, he repeats an older question. He goes, "So, who are you? What are you doing here again? I might have forgotten, sorry."
So, I'm Reich, he's Locke, and we're here to ask you about the shipwreck, because that is what we are currently investigating.
What do you want to know?
Pretty much anything you can tell us, maybe starting with where you were attacked, and if you saw your attackers making off with any people they may be captured.
He sighs a little bit and he goes, "Well, if you're investigating, I was attacked by the Daiquiri pirates. We all were. I was commanding the vessel, actually, when it was attacked." To which Locke, are you going to be doing anything at this point?
I think I'll sort of leave the questioning to Reich, but I want to start actually looking over his wounds, see if I can sort of readjust the splint and stuff so that he healed properly.
Alrighty, well, go ahead and make a heal check for that. And while you're doing that, Reich, would you have had a response to his statement?
Yes. So we've already heard about the pirates. From what little knowledge I have of these people, if you want to call them that, they are slavers. They tend to take prisoners, right? Did you notice them taking any prisoners from your vessel?
Yeah, they took everyone aboard that they could find. And as that's going on, he hitches a little bit, hissing again as Locke comes around and readjusts the splint and makes everything so much better. To which, Locke, you hear a light popping sound when you finally readdress the splint, indicating that the broken bone that he had in his leg wasn't set properly and now is.
Oh, thank God.
I'll cringe a bit at that sound. And then I'll just continue.
That should be much easier for you now.
Yeah, thanks.
Really should have found someone for you long before now.
Well, the Duchess isn't particularly fond of spending money.
Yeah, we can see that.
Why, did you talk
So
to
we're
her
looking
already?
for... Yes, we had the pleasure. I'd say with a very sarcastic tone in my voice.
He chuckles along, and he goes, "Hey, you little rat man. Can you check to see what's wrong with my back? I obviously can't look at it."
I mean, sure. Well, let's take a look.
Alright, so you're gonna have to do 2 heal checks here. One, effectively to flip him over as gently as possible to get to his back, and then the other one would be for the inspection.
Can I assist with the flipping him over?
Yes, which means you get a +2 bonus on the first heal check.
Okay. +2. Okay, so this is to flip him over. We get a 21.
And then the second heal check, which doesn't get the +2 bonus.
Yep. Second one is a 25.
Alright, you flip him over, to which the man groans out in pain, as you do, obviously. Mostly due to the fact that he is now laying on his bandaged arm that you didn't inspect yet. But, as you try and move his shirt around, you see that the shirt gets stuck every now and then when you do. And not because he's wearing it, and so therefore when you try and lift it up on the bed, you have to, like, work against the friction. But because parts of the wound have begun to absorb parts of the shirt in order to try and heal the open gashes that are there.
This isn't good. This is gonna hurt a lot.
To which Fargus just goes, huh? To which you can go ahead and roll another heal check.
Should we get him some whiskey first?
That's only a 20.
What are you gonna say to Reich?
I will just say, sure, you can go and see if you can get him some whiskey. But I'm not going to wait for him to return if he does go. It'll be a nice treat afterwards.
I'm gonna just dash down to the barkeep.
Alright. So I'll get to you in just a second. Locke, after Reich leaves the room to go get the whiskey, you start the beginning of your surgery. To which you lift up the shutter a little bit, find the places where there is tugging, and you pull out a small scalpel that all doctors obviously carry with them. Obviously. And you start cutting at the places where there is tension to remove the tension from there, you start working on the rest of the shirt. To which, when Fergus asks you what you're doing, what do you say to him?
The nicest thing for me to say for you is I'm making it so that you can remove this shit.
Why? What
Because
happens?
as it's going, because these wounds weren't properly treated earlier, you and the shirt are starting to become one.
Oh, God.
But don't worry. I can make you feel much better.
You eventually cut the shirt all the way off, leaving the pieces of fabric that are slowly being absorbed by these cuts left, to which you're going to have to roll another heal check. While you do that, Reich, you manage to run down to the tavern keeper, and what do you say to them?
Sir, the captain is in a lot of pain. I'll need the strongest drink you have.
To which they cock an eyebrow and go, okay, well the strongest drink we got is worth 1,000 gold.
Jesus Christ. Okay, anything a little bit less expensive?
Well, you made it seem like it was an emergency. You said you want the strongest stuff, right?
Well, it is kind of an emergency, but I don't want to bankroll an entire nation for painkillers, essentially.
Oh. Well, you see, the next least expensive thing is 9,999 gold.
You're joking. Can I make a sense motive check?
Yeah, you can go ahead and make a sense motive check. You can tell that this particular individual has sensed that you are in a rush, and due to supply and demand, has increased the price.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not putting up with your bullshitting. Either you give me a normal price or I'm just gonna give him a healing potion.
I don't think that's really much of a threat to a dude trying to make money. Would you like to try again?
Well, I'm trying to persuade him, so he'll make me a normal offer or he'll make no money.
You're basically just saying, hey, if you stop that, I'm gonna do nothing about it and do something else instead. That's basically what she said.
Well, okay, I'll phrase it in another way. Okay, you can stop bullshitting me now. I know your alcohol isn't that expensive. I don't need it. I'm trying to do something nice. If you're not giving me a reasonable price, I'll just not buy anything from you and you'll make no money.
You basically just said the same thing in a longer... You said the exact same thing, just in a longer sentence. Why is the Thieves Guild group always the one getting lifted? Because I have to create conflict, that's why. It's not my fault that apparently the people of the Thieves
Shameless
Guild...
is just quirky like that.
People in the Thieves Guild don't know how to be mean, aggressive, or haggle.
Well, no, in that case, I'm just not gonna bother.
Yeah, I want to be part of the mean guy group. Proceeds to not be mean.
Hey, look, I don't want to get thrown into jail over... This happened. This is a thing that happened. This is a very well-founded fear, getting into jail because you started shit with an innkeep.
If only the party had some ability or skill set that allowed them to get things without paying a lot of money for them.
Yeah, no, I'm just not gonna bother with this guy.
So you're not even gonna try and go and steal it yourself when he's clearly being an asshole.
No!
May I ask why?
Simply because this shit isn't worth... It's just not worth, like, potentially getting in trouble over.
So you're telling me the criminal doesn't want to be a criminal?
how often can you use your invisibility thing?
You raise a good point. Well, I'm gonna go and use the bathroom. And I'm gonna go to the bathroom and turn invisible in there.
You're gonna announce loudly to the barkeep that you're going to the bathroom, and then go to the bathroom.
Please take your attention away, sir. I need to go to the toilet.
I am going to shit.
You know, one of the stereotypes that the Americas have about Germans are in relation to those large illegal underground rave parties that happen there all the time.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I am not familiar with large illegal underground rave parties, and I don't think I want to be.
So we're all like, so yeah, the Germans know how to lie, right?
Apparently not.
No,
Apparently
lying
not.
is illegal. You can't do that. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
But what if you do lie? No, you can't do that.
Christ. You're being outplayed by the Dutch, how do you feel?
I don't know how to feel. In pain.
What is the Dutch to do with it? Hold on.
YG says to know that true. German raves and clubs are kind of a stereotype under warehouses and such. Yeah, see? Alright, so you turn invisible, and then I presume you're gonna sneak into the kitchen?
Yeah.
Alright, in
I'm
which
just gonna
case,
see.
go ahead, roll for stealth, you get a plus 20 bonus on it.
Right. I am the greatest thief that has ever lived. Probably
You didn't be a
not.
criminal properly. You didn't put the D in front of the 20.
Well, he's being a criminal, so...
Yeah, trying to cheat the roll, except I know when the bot rolls.
Ridiculous.
Alright, so it only lasts 6 rounds, so that is enough to go from the bathroom and make your way into the kitchen. Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Oh, damn. Perception is...
Honestly, it would be pretty on brand for our side of this story if you turn visible again in the middle of the kitchen.
See, look, Richard's agreeing. You do have clubs and old factories and stuff. Alright, so... You do manage to find the alcohol section, and as you start working your way through, you make your way over to the whiskey, to which you manage to find the one on the top shelf. However, this is when your invisibility would dissipate.
I'm just gonna use another one.
Alright, so you would use another one, to which you're gonna have to make 2 stealth checks. The first one to pull the bottle out, and the second one to run out before your invisibility ends. To which you do get a plus 20 bonus on both.
I'm just waiting for the nat one. I'm just waiting to derail the campaign, trying
Again.
to get whiskey.
So that's one roll, I need the other one. Alright. So you have managed to secure the whiskey. And as you are making your way up back to the room where Locke and Fargus is, all you can hear is just loud screaming from Fargus. And when you enter the room, you watch as Locke, with a pair of tweezers, is slowly ripping out fabric from inside the wounds of the wounded captain. You, as a matter of fact, you come at the very end of it as blood begins to spill out from his body and starts to make its way towards the bed sheets themselves.
I'll just...
Do either of you have a reaction to that?
I just take the whiskey, uncork it, take one of my healing potions, uncork it, and I will give them just both to the captain. And so, drink both of these in any order you want.
He only has one arm. And he's laying on his stomach.
I will use the shirt that I have just been cutting off him to sort of try and stop the blood from reaching the bed sheets.
Alright, go ahead and make a reflex save. To which, Reich, are you going to attempt to try and help so that the bed sheets don't become completely stained with blood?
Nah, fuck that and keep guy. You can clean the blood off those.
Okay. Alright, so you do manage to stop the blood from spreading out onto the bed sheets. And then from there, I presume you would actually start dressing the wounds and sewing them up properly?
Yes.
Alright, so that would be 2 heal checks.
Then I'll give him the whiskey first.
To which the captain just starts chugging it. Screaming, coughing every now and then because he's doing it too quickly. But yelling every single time that Locke effectively touches these now open flesh wounds. But Locke, you spend your time taking your medical supplies and cleaning out any potential dirt, disinfecting everything, and then you get your sewing kit and you start to sew everything together. To which you do so better than you did cleaning the wounds, which is kind of funny to me.
Yeah, I mean, this is something I've probably done before. I haven't removed that much fabric from people's wounds.
Oh, are you EMS real life?
No.
No? Eventually, as you finally close off all of these wounds and everything else, Fargus does eventually manage to calm down, and you notice that the entire whiskey bottle is gone. So you have about 5 minutes before he is no longer cognizant.
Alright, so there were 5 people we're looking in for in particular. Of course, everybody we find is great, but these people are the priority, and I'll give a short description of
each of them.
The 5 people we're looking for.
It's 4 now because one of the players from Group A is dropping out, but I know what you mean. To which, as you go through all the descriptions, the captain nods to each and every single one of them, goes, yeah, I remember.
So all of these were taken?
Yeah, as well as a good portion of my crew.
Do you know the general direction where these pirates would bring them, or where they have a base?
To which Fergus goes to open his mouth, and then he closes, to which you can both go ahead and roll sense motive.
Mm-hmm.
Sense motive. That is the same as my heal.
Alright, both of you can tell that he knows, but he's afraid to give the answer.
From this, from getting his vibe, is he afraid for himself, or is he afraid for us?
Afraid for himself.
Don't worry, you can tell us. We're specifically hired to sort out of this kind of thing, and honestly, people were kind of already expecting the pirates, so we are kind of hired to deal specifically with the pirates.
Go ahead and roll for diplomacy. He stammers for a little bit, hesitating, and he very quietly whispers for you to close both the door and to shut the window.
I will follow his instructions as quickly as possible so he doesn't collapse while I'm doing that.
And after you finish, he motions you to get close, and he whispers to just you, though Locke, you are free to roll for perception if you would like to hear yourself. And he whispers to just you that, that he hid the moment that he saw that the pirates themselves were getting close, and he hid under the deck, and when they were searching, they simply didn't find him, to which he very deeply regrets. And while he doesn't know how they took anyone on board or who or in full, he does know that afterwards they completely destroyed his ship. It got launched into the air somehow and shot or something along those lines, to which he is extremely surprised that he managed to survive at all. And when he was clinging to the leftover boards from the ship for his very life, he saw that the ships were sailing south, maybe a little southeast. He isn't quite sure, considering how disoriented he was. But with the directions that he gives you, south-southeast leaves only one major nation in that direction. Do you know what it is?
No, I would have to consult the map.
Well, go ahead and consult the map. Should be in, like, the resources or something.
Mm-hmm. South, east. Kellner.
Mm. It'll be with that we go back to Leiku and Dras, who have gone to the local tavern and that Aya has pointed out, and waited there for a couple of minutes. She shows up late, to which, when she walks through the door, the both of you can go ahead and roll for sense motive.
Okay. Oh.
Oh.
Well, shit.
Ah.
You know what? At least you nat 20'd, right?
Like, goddamn.
Alright. So, when she walks through the door and starts making her way over to you, you can see that she showed up late, or at least you can sense or guess that she showed up late on purpose. It seems that she was effectively wasting a little bit of time to see if either of you would leave so that she wouldn't have to be here. Though she does do a very good job at hiding it, and she takes her seat and everything else, and when the waiter comes over after seeing her get in, she very quickly orders her food without looking at the menu. To which the waiter then looks at the both of you for more or less the same thing, and I presume you would just hand over whatever food you wanted, or whatever food order you wanted.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to which the waiter leaves, and she leans back into her chair, and she waits. She doesn't say anything, she doesn't try and start or engage a conversation. She waits. So what do the two of you do? Or what do the two of you say?
Well, Leiku, it was your idea. How about you start?
I'm sure that at this point, Leiku would have caught Doras up with whatever she knows.
Mm-hmm. Or at least
At this
whatever she
point.
suspects.
Mm-hmm. And she will simply just look at Aya and go, well,
Are you okay, right?
we're waiting.
Oh, sorry. Microphone issues.
Continue.
While we're waiting, if you could please tell us all that you know about the Daiquiri pirates.
To which she says, well, I know just as much as the rest. They kind of came out of nowhere, led by this person named Kane, and started taking slaves, bolstering the slave trades that have existed in all of these continents for quite some time, and really about it. People are mad at Kelnor for not intervening, because they have the strongest navy out of all of the nations, and they've done nothing to try and curtail their aggressive advances. To which you can go ahead and roll sense motive.
Mm-hmm.
To which both of you can tell that she is still hiding information, that there's still more to it.
Leiku will give her the mom stare.
Go ahead and roll for intimidate.
Okay. Let me just make sure that this intimidate number is correct.
Can I try to help with the dad stare next to it?
You wouldn't really be able to know, because Leiku knows a little bit more since she succeeded in more sense motive rolls. You just know that.
Yeah,
that
absolutely makes sense.
she's
I'm
low.
rolling so well. We're getting that EXP, baby.
So you give her the mom stare, and she goes, "Oh, fucking fine. What do you want to know?"
Well, everything that you can give.
Ask your questions, because I don't really know where to start without at least a point of reference, so please.
If the Daiquiri pirates were to have taken somebody, where would they have taken them?
I personally wouldn't know. They have 3 different islands that they work with, so could be any of
What
those
are the
3.
3 different islands?
She closes her eyes for a moment, and she takes a deep breath, and she goes, "You know what? I really don't want to talk about this in public. Can we talk about something else, please?"
Can I use my antenna?
To do what?
Or figure out what she's feeling? Is it like aggravation? Is it
Okay.
sorrow?
That would be another sense motive check, I guess.
Okay.
18? Oh, yeah, right. What about that?
Yeah.
You can tell that she is annoyed and aggravated, but she's also scared. But there's 2 different layers to that fear. One of the layers is obviously for herself. She's scared for herself because, talking about this in public in the way that she does, prying eyes, prying ears, could ascertain the wrong information. But there's a second layer to this fear, which is fear for another person. Worry. There's worry underneath all of it.
I see.
So what would you like to ask now?
If somebody were to have been taken, some people important to the both of us by the Daiquiri pirates, how long would it take for them to essentially be sold off and we would have no trace of where they are?
She has already said that she doesn't want to talk about the Daiquiri pirates in public. Please pick a different question.
I thought it was in relation to the 3 islands, but okay.
Please do not get angry with me. I'm telling you what she said.
I don't know what else to ask.
Ask about the wreckage?
that is also about the daiquiri pirates, but I
No,
guess.
it's about the wreckage.
All right. In that case, if you feel uncomfortable talking about the daiquiri pirates, could you tell me a little bit more about the wreckage and when it showed up? If you have any know-hows on how it happened?
Well, I obviously don't know how it happened. We just saw the pieces of the ship wash ashore, which isn't abnormal. It happens every now and then. The Halnorian king doesn't really actively do anything, and the Republic of Telduria only has so much manpower, and it's not like they can react to a sudden spring of a pirate attack on the other side of the continent. But when the initial cleanup happened, we had about 20 to 30 of us actually doing the bulk of the work. And while that happened, I found a lot of belongings that belonged to my sister.
Your sister.
Yeah.
Well, was she part of the crew? Was she a sailor or one of the passengers?
I wouldn't know. She is a pirate herself, so I have no idea why she would have been a part of a cargo ship.
I see.
But I do know that if she was taken by the daiquiri pirates, there's going to be a lot of issues between us and our mom.
And why would that be the case?
She's quiet for a little bit. She looks at the both of you, trying to think of what to say and how to say it, and she says, "Do you have a piece of paper?"
I'm assuming that I do, so I
Yeah.
will take out a piece of paper.
And something to write with, I presume.
Yeah. I'll take it out of the saddle that Hissy has.
She,
Who, by the way, Hissy's sitting very politely by the table waiting for food.
to which she will take the paper and she'll say, "Burn it when you're done reading it." And what she'll do is she'll simply write 4 words down on that piece of paper. To which, when she hands it back to Leiku, the words that you read, Leiku, are, "My mother is Melinda."
Would I know what that name means?
Everyone knows the names Kane, Melinda, and Louse, as those are the 3 names that have been passed around in regards to knowledge in relation to the daiquiri pirates.
I see. Okay. All right. Is there a candle at the
I
table?
mean, you're a mage. You can set it ablaze yourself.
I don't have a... I'm not gonna use Scorching Ray on a piece of paper.
You don't have any 0th level spells that deal damage, like Jolt.
I have Ray of Frost.
There you go. Freeze the paper over, it crumbles. It can no longer be read.
Okay, alright, then I guess I'll do that immediately. And I'm assuming that I also show this to Duras as well before I freeze it up.
If you say so, yeah.
Yeah. So Duras, you know this as
Okay.
well.
Yeah.
I understand. That it can be complicated in that manner.
You don't really know the half of it. She sighs, and it's not long after that the food and drinks come out, and she asks if either of you know how to speak Aquan.
No, unfortunately, I
I
only do
don't
speak
think
Thai-Queen and
so.
Elven.
I'm
You don't
looking
think
for
so?
nope. I don't.
She sighs and goes, okay. Then you'll wait. Then I'll wait. Is there anything else that you would like to talk with her while you were here eating your meal?
Well, have there been any talks in the guild about people wanting to start a rescue mission? Any clients that want to have any people rescued or something like that?
To which Aya will laugh, and it will be a tad sarcastic. She's like, yeah, go ahead and have fun trying to ask anyone in the Mercenary Guild if they want to stand up to the Daiquiri Pirates.
No, I think I was just, maybe there was like a client that was paying a lot of money or something to have someone from the Mercenary Guild go, but I guess not.
I mean, if that big paying client went to the Thieves Guild, do you think they would go to the Mercenary Guild?
I mean, there might have been a separate client. It's a big country, I don't know.
Is there anything else?
I don't think there's anything we can talk about here.
I guess Leica will just simply make a comment expressing how she saw the guy that she was sparring with in the training hall. That's how Leiku and Doras were given directions to go find Aya. She'll go, well, that was kind of impressive. What you did to that guy. How long did it take? Like the fight?
She looks over at Lake, who's a bit confused for the time being, but when you give a little bit more the description of the individual and the time that you met them, you went, oh, he took 2 hits and fell down.
2?
Well,
Interesting.
fighting is the one thing that I'm good at. I joined the Mercenary Guild because I needed to raise a lot of money so that I can help my mother, because she is in a unique situation and simply needs cash in order to be helped out of that unique situation. As a matter of fact, that's actually the reason why my sister also became a pirate, but I've been trying my best to convince her to not be, because between you and me, she's not very good.
At what, being a pirate?
No. I have had to bail her out of jail at 3 separate occasions.
Oh.
Yeah. The only reason why she can ever assemble a crew of people to follow her is because she's a bit of a whore. No response to that, apparently. Okay.
I'm just wondering what to say. She just called her sister a whore, and I'm eating my
What should I say? Good for her? I don't know, man.
I mean, one of you is also a whore, so...
No.
Alright there, Mal.
No.
I think just a little, misunderstood.
I mean, you're near at the table, otherwise that would be a good question to ask.
Well, maybe she just hasn't found the right guy yet. I don't know.
Well, maybe she'll find the right guy when she stops flashing her little tail at any dude that walks within 3 feet of her that fits any description of mildly muscular, above 6 feet, and tan skin. She also has a thing for scales. To which she'll turn towards Duras, which means, fortunately for you, that means she'd hit on you too.
Oh, well, good to know, I guess.
Eh.
Like he'll just snort and sip her drink in a small laugh.
Oh, why is that funny?
Well, she's young. I'm assuming, since, you're both sisters. I'm not too sure if she would be of a different age than you.
She's only 2 years older than I am.
She's experimenting. Eventually she'll want to settle down.
She's been experimenting for almost 12 years.
I don't know, maybe she won't stop experimenting, but eventually she will.
No, I think I just have to slut-shame her until she stops.
I mean, have you tried that before, and did she stop then?
Not harshly, no.
Well, either way, since even if that were to be the case, both of you are clearly trying to do something to help your mother. So
I know. And I still love her, even if in this moment I can only barely tolerate her. But I know. That's why I'm worried. Because if either of us go
when was the last
back...
time you've seen either?
When we were 11. Well, when I was 11. To which you can go ahead and do a perception check, both of you.
Mm-hmm. Perception. Too bad my antenna can't help me with perception. Ooh, nice.
Okay.
Dadas, at a first glance, for whatever weird reason, you can tell that Aya is 27 years old.
That is very specific.
Nat 20s. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do I also happen to know if Lamias are like a particularly long-living species, or...
They are slightly
Not as much
longer-lived
as human.
races over humans, yeah.
Okay.
So 27 you can consider still, mature, like a 27-year-old human would be. Well, they do live longer. It's like, I think, like 50 years or something like that. So if human cap is like 100, for Lamia it's like 150.
Well, so you've been separated for a while, I guess.
Yeah, you could say that. Is there anything else that you would like to say? He knows his women. Yeah, Dadas knows his women, apparently.
Definitely. Surely.
Well, I suppose if most of the bulk of the conversation will happen after dinner. So.
So we'll just fast forward time until after dinner.
Hissy will very politely eat his food at the table.
At the table.
At the table.
You're teaching the cat to eat at the table.
Look, I'm sure he's tall enough that when he sits down, that his head is.
He's a medium-sized creature right now, so it'd be more like a lab. So no, not really. He's not large size yet.
What the frick?
He's house dog size right now.
My son.
Yeah.
He's big.
No, he's not level 7 right now. Yeah.
Fine. He will eat on the floor like a peasant.
He is a peasant. How dare he be level 6?
He'll just look up at me, and I will get the theme of meow 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 in my head.
I see. I see.
My poor cat.
Eventually, all of you finish dinner, to which Aya pays for. And then she starts to walk, effectively motioning for both of you to follow. And she walks all the way back to the beaches that have been quarantined off as assurance that no one else is around. To which, when she gets there, she reiterates again that Melinda is her mother. And her mother made a deal with Cain to allow both her and her sister to leave so that they could live more or less a normal life. But part of that deal is that if they were found again and subsequently captured, then the deal would be broken. To which she then backpedals a little bit and reiterates that neither of them are being hunted by the daiquiri pirates. It's just, if they happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time and start going through the whole intake process, they'll be forced to be a part of the pirate crew.
I see.
Yeah, that... Yeah, makes sense.
And no, I do not know where they would have been taken. There's 3 different islands that they work out of. It's the father, mother, and son islands, to which each of these islands do different forms of intake for different forms of labor.
Do you happen to know the location of any of them?
No. I was very young. The island that I was released from, I can probably guide anyone through the interior, but not so much to the exterior.
I see.
Why do both of you want to know this information so badly?
Can we do a quick huddle?
No.
No. We can't do a huddle now. However, by principle, since Leiku knows that Aya is telling the truth and being honest, Leiku is inclined to be honest as well.
So what would Leiku say?
Well, the both of us and a couple of others were contracted and hired to find a few individuals that went missing, and we believe that they were taken by the daiquiri pirates.
She looks between the both of you and she sighs and she goes, "You're not actually a part of the mercenary guild, are you?"
Yes, we are.
I mean, technically we are, yeah.
You know what I mean.
It's not the only guild we're part of, no.
Who's so interested in these individuals that they're willing to go to war with arguably the 4th nation of Telduria?
We don't know.
Do you have the capacity to do so? Because if it's just you two, and maybe whatever minor backup you Thieves Guild members try and use, that's certainly not enough to take down something that's the size of a nation.
Well, there's 2 of us here, and then there are 2 others that went to go do some research, and we have 1 other with us. I would argue that.
Well, that one other better be the bitch, or you're basically fucked.
Do I know the correlation between the nicknames?
Yes, you do.
Okay, then yes, it is.
I see. Then I'm coming with you.
I don't think anybody would have any issue with that.
I can guarantee that someone will have an issue with that. But regardless of
Yeah,
their
I just
issue,
wanted to say.
I'm coming with you.
I mean, you can come meet our boss, and then you have to convince her.
No.
Like, who just turned her door out, like, she's doing this for her family. I'm sure this will be fine. She essentially wants to go to the same place that we want to go to.
I will
Yes,
slowly
for a
turn
different-
towards Duras and say, well, if you are insistent against this particular declaration, I can show you exactly why you would not be able to stop me.
No, I don't mean I stop you. I'm just saying that you have to convince our boss, not me. Like, I'm fine with you coming along. You seem to have enough of a reason to want to do this. It's not me you have to worry about.
That is more or less the same difference. You're still denying the declaration. I can show you if you want me to.
I'm accepting Leiku has both of her hands up. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I don't really want to be hit. Just come along. I'm sure it's gonna be fine.
Mm-hmm. Alright. There is one last roll all of you gotta do before we connect everything together. And it is a knowledge local roll.
Oh, fuck!
Right. I think right.
I would just like to say that before we left, the captain, Locke would have been sure to have checked his arm out as well.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm sorry. My brain short-circuited.
What do you mean your brain short-circuited?
Exactly what I
It
said.
means that his brain short-circuited. Like, what else do you think that meant?
Sure, fucking... Alright, so the reason why you did a knowledge local check here is so that you can effectively shore up any and all potential missing information that you may have missed in this particular excursion. So, you passed the first DC check, which is something you already know. You already know that the Daiquiri Pirate, or at least the people around the town, are creating rumors that the Daiquiri Pirates are the ones behind the attack, which is why they didn't find any bodies, because they run the largest slave trade in the world. They wouldn't leave anyone behind, and if they didn't take anyone, they would have killed them, and their bodies would have sunk out at sea. This is why they don't believe that Fargus was a survivor. The second one, the second DC that you passed, is that in relation to the Daiquiri Pirates, they often attack ships that are sailing north and south, but attack patterns outside of that are largely unknown. So a lot of people are using this to spread rumors that the Daiquiri Pirates didn't do it because this particular ship was sailing east and west, So why would the Daiquiri pirates attack? And then the third DC that you passed, if only just barely, is that a lot of people are generating rumors, speculative rumors, that the Daiquiri pirates have connections to at least one of the major governments around Telduria that allows them to do whatever they do, more or less, largely uncontested. And then you missed the last DC, because poo-poo stinky.
Oh.
Alright, so the four of you eventually meet up, to which, as the four of you meet up, Locke, Reich, you see that Leiku and Dras are being followed by someone else.
So, who'd you pick up there?
This is Aya Visk. She is going to join us.
To which Kate will butt in and basically ask, says who. Dangling off of, I'm gonna roll a 1d2 here. Reich. Dangling off of Reich, above his head like a hat.
I completely forgot Kate was with us.
I know, she
Kate
was
was-
uncharacteristically quiet.
Kate was the one who secretly told us what to do.
Kate was the one that beat you to death with a gun for being stupid. Is anyone gonna answer her question?
Aya. She's from the Mercenary Guild, but she's aware of our circumstances, and she would like to join us.
Kate stares Aya up and down, and then looks over at Leiku and goes, "Are you sure? What if she tries? What if she tries to arrest us? What if she tries to arrest us?"
Trust me, I think if Aya were to arrest us, then we would be arrested by now. But I understand her motivations, and her motivations are very sound as to why she wants to join us.
Kate seems confused and goes, "Well, I don't know why, but can you tell me?"
It's not my thing to tell.
And she
How about you ask
deflates,
her?
slowly rolling off of Reich's head, flopping onto his shoulder, and then onto the ground. To
Don't
which,
die.
when
Dying
you
is
both
bad.
look over in her general direction, you just see a fake Kate deflating into the ground before eventually disappearing. And then you just hear her voice, just from nowhere, going, "You killed me. I've died. Look what you've done."
Well, you can ask her. Over here. This is Aya. If she wants to tell you, she'll tell you.
Aya looks at everything that just happened and just says, "No, I won't," and just starts walking away.
Then she's not gonna tell you. I don't know what else to say. It's not my thing to tell.
However, as the group starts to gather and start to make sure that they have everything that they need, passing around the information that they found and whatnot, Leva returns back to the group, to which she looks over and sees that there is someone here that wasn't here before, asks who they are and why they're here, to which I already know that you guys would just effectively repeat yourself and go through that whole song and dance. And she'll just stare at Aya for quite some time, to which, Daras, I would like you to make a perception check.
Yep.
Ooh.
It's... Yep.
She looks casually over at Daras for a moment, though just with her eyes, before looking back at Aya and just saying, okay, she can come, and it just continues on, despite the fact that no one asked her that question.
That was easy.
To which Layla will say, we need a pirate to hunt a pirate.
She's a pirate?
You can't tell at a glance.
No, I thought she was a mercenary. I'm not really well versed in pirates, I'm sorry.
So wonder how you have a job here. But okay. And she continues on to the boat.
I sometimes ask that to myself.
Come on, children. We have places to be.
Okay, alright.
Yes, yes.
Time that we go.
And that will be the end of today's session.
Ooh.
So I'd like to thank you all for being here. I'd like to thank you all for coming out. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your afternoon, evening, and good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.